I can't even imagine a life without air. How would humans even live under these situations? How can we live without this mist all around us? Maybe in 30 years' time, all humans have to live underground because the air is too polluted. What if the ozone isn't there to protect us? Can we even go out and enjoy the warmth that the sun is giving us? What is life without these things? I don't even want to think about it. The steps we are doing right now at the present time, is this all we've got? We continue to go in a different direction without realizing the effect it has on the environment. We, ourselves, have the responsibility to conserve what's left of this world. We are made as the stewards of the earth. This is all about change. Change towards a new.
This is the Earth. Beautiful, isn't it? Around it is a thin blanket of gases called the atmosphere. This atmosphere is divided into several spherical layers. The troposphere is the atmospheric layer closest to the Earth's surface. About 75 to 80% of the Earth's air mass is found here. The second layer is the stratosphere, which contains less matter than the troposphere. Much of the atmosphere's small amount of ozone is concentrated in a portion of the stratosphere called the ozone layer. Air. Found in the atmosphere, the mixture of gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon is an essential resource which keeps living things such as plants, animals, and humans alive. So the continued existence of living organisms largely depends on the quality of the air. However, as a human's standard of living progresses, the Earth's air quality regresses. The age of technology, the amount of pollutants human beings emit continues to increase year by year. A recent study conducted by the Department of Health in cooperation with the World Health Organization's Western Pacific Regional Office show that the air people breathe in Metro Manila contains pollutants in excess of tolerable levels. The worst victims are children.
In the National Capital Region, about 85% of air pollution comes from mobile sources. In other words, vehicles on the road. Metro Manila authorities will have to employ drastic measures to solve this problem. The DENR, the Land Transportation Office, and local government units have been apprehending and fining air polluters, whether these are industries, small businesses, and most especially motorists driving smoke-belching vehicles. Metro Manila counts almost 8 million vehicles and growing, contributing to a staggering 80% of the total cost of air pollution. A law concerning air quality management was implemented on the 23rd of June 1999, which is also known as the Clean Air Act 1999. RA 8749 focuses primarily on pollution prevention rather than control by encouraging cooperation and self-regulation among citizens and industries. It also enforces a system of accountability for adverse environmental impacts to heighten compliance to government environmental regulations.
Depende kasi sa kung ano yung tinitesting ko, kotse o tricycle. Kotse o motor. Pag sa motor, yung CO kailangan hanggang 4.5 lang. Pag lumagpas ka ng 4.5, ibig sabihin, pag may differential yung makina mo, kaya yung tambutyo.
Kahit anong year model po yun?
At sa motor.
4.5.
Tapos yung HC niya, pag lumagpas ng 4,000, ano? 7,500. sa mga motor ha. Pag sa mga puro sa ganito, katulad nito, depende yan kung ano yung year model. Kasi may kanya-kanyang ano yan kung saan yung papasan. Katulad nito, modelo. Ito, kailangan ito CO nito hanggang 0.50 lang. 0.50. Tapos dito hanggang 250 lang. Pag lumagpas siya ron, baksak siya.
Kahit diesel or gas po, parehas lang.
Hindi po, ito gas to eh. Iba yun sa diesel.
Ah,
Sa diesel, depende rin sa year model. Pag ang year model ng sakyan ng diesel, 2007 pababa hanggang 2.5. Pero pag 2007 pataas na, kailangan hanggang 2.0 lang magiging reading niya. Pag lumagpas siya ron, marami na masyado yung tambuti niya, kaya may diferensya yung ano niya. May diferensya yung injection pump niya.
Disinfect na
Diesel.
bus, jeepneys, trucks, halos lahat naman. Number one, yung pag-apprehend sa mga smoke belcher, sa mga bumubuga na may itin na uso. Meron, for the first offense, that is 1,000, second, 2, then third offense, 3,000. Siyempre, through visual muna siya, merong, kasi sa apprehension, merong nasa labas. Yung kami, nasa field na, merong nasa unahan, yung tumitingin nung binubugang usap ng sakyan. Pag may team yun, saka ipa-plug down. Saka itetest ulit. Dadaan pa rin sa machine.
Meron kami smoke test machine.
Smoke meter machine na ako ng DNR. Pag nag-failed sa test, the time, either confiscated ang license plate or license non-driver. Well, proper maintenance ng sasakyan nila. And kung pangkarga yan or pangpasahero, regular ang change oil ng sakyan, mga ganon. And then, do not overload. Kasi pag halimbawa, yung mga truck, sobra yung load, yan doon sa uusok talaga yun.
Tsaka isa pa, kailangan mo, kasi yung sinusunog na diesel ng sasakyan, nagiging carbon particulate matters, yung lumalabas sa tambutyo. Doon naiipon sa yun, sa yung sa natin, yung sa tambutyo, yun.
Muffler.
Sa muffler. Kailan linisin mo rin?
Dapat linisin.
Bababa mo na sa tubig, mga 1 to 2 hours, puno yun. Kaya mabustisi, kaya yung iba, halos ayaw na maglinis. Matagal maglinis ng ganun. Pag yung alam mo nang medyo malambot na yung carbon doon sa loob, bugang mo na, binabanlawan na yun. Isa na rin yung sinabi, sir, mas malaga rin yung i-maintain mo yung sasakyan mo. Tapos pangalawa na lang yung lumalabas na carbon doon sa tambutso. Doon na iipon sa muffler yun.
Well, siguro, continuous ulit namin yung pag-apprehend. Apprehension ng mga sasakyan. And then may mga projects pang naka-line up.
Kasi yung
Hindi ko
bagong
may detail pa yung mga
may dadagdag kasi, lalo yung bagong nakaupo ngayon, may dadagdag na naman strict rules. Hindi katulad ng dati. Pag lighter rules lang kasi, medyo take it for granted lang yung mga driver eh.
Marami na ako.
Depende mo, bawat sa araw, hindi naman pare-pareho. Minsan may nahuli kami mga 30, minsan may 50, minsan pababa. Depende. Hindi naman pare-pareho yung Kasi minsan may tumatakbo rin. Yun, lalo pag nakita mausok na mausok, papalayan namin, alam nilang babagsak sila, tatakbo yun. Hinahabol namin ng tingin. Sabi namin, sige, pagpasok mo ng Pasay, huli ka rin. Kaya ko na kung ganun sila.
Hindi lang naman kami mga may anti-smoke belching unit. Halos buong LGU sa Metro Manila.
Kasi po yung sa Manila po.
Yes, kaya meron nga kami yung association, yung Metro Manila Anti-Smoke Belching Association. Yung pagtatanim ng mga halaman, ng puno, malaking ano yan para makabawas ng pollution. So, dapat green project.
Basta 80% na pinagagaling ng smoke belching
Sa
sa muffler.
Sa mga sasakyan.
Muffler.
Diesel sasakyan.
Pag tumatakbo yung sasakyan kasing diesel pet, nagsusunugan ng diesel. Yung sinusunog, saan pupunta yun? Dito sa muffler, yung itim. Ayun ang didinig yung parang bahay. Pag hindi mo inagiwan yung bahay mo ng 1 linggo, 1 buwan, yung kapal, kaya ka naagiwan. Kasi alam mo, yung diesel natin, di naman first class eh. Yung kinukuha natin sa Pilipinas, hindi. Pero may mga diesel na first class. Pumunta ka ng masyado masaya. Anuhan mo na pag-aralan mo sa Japan, Canada, may mga diesel silang ginagamit doon. Pero parang gasolina, wala ka makikita ng uso. Sa atin kasi parang third class na yung kinukuha namin diesel. Kahit anong gawin namin, wala. Talagang third class na eh. Parang surplus na. Kaya kahit anong gawin na panguli, wala rin. Kung gusto nyo yung straight answer, babagsak tayo sa government natin. Alam niyo na, di ba? Ba't sila mag-import ng third class na diesel? Kasi mura.
Ano naman pakontra dyan, green project? Kasi malaking factor yung mga halaman, nag-absorb ng mga ano.
Air pollution is just one of the major problems. A bigger one comes in the picture: climate change.
How does climate change affect humans?
There are 4 really important ways that climate change affects humans. Number 1, as the planet warms up, we're going to redistribute rainfall, which is going to affect our water resources, and parts of North America may get a lot drier. Number 2, as the polar ice melts, sea levels are going to rise, and a lot of people and a lot of the world's major cities are right on coasts. That's going to impact them. Number 3, things like the species distributions, where we can grow food, they are going to change as the planet warms up, and so the range of which way you can grow corn and things will change. Number 4, the oceans are going to get more acidic as more CO2 dissolves in them. There are untold ramifications from that. There are the possibilities of radically altering the food web in the ocean, which can affect everything from the composition of the atmosphere to the ability of the oceans to provide food for us.
All of the events of the past decade, all of our memories, have something in common. They all took place during the hottest decade ever recorded since humans began keeping temperature records about 150 years ago. In the last decade, the Earth's temperature rose roughly 1/3 of a degree Fahrenheit. Since 1880, it's risen about 1.5 degrees. You might say the Earth's running a fever, and scientists predict it's going to get much worse. Already, we can tally the signs. Global sea level rose by over an inch during the decade, almost twice as fast as the average during the 20th century. Arctic summer sea ice declined by over 300,000 square miles, enough ice to cover the states of Texas and Kentucky. The vast majority of climate scientists say evidence for human-caused warming is clear. But less understood is exactly how this warming will change the complex interactions between our planet's land, water, sky, and the living organisms that inhabit our world. As NASA scientists improve their understanding and predictions about climate change, NASA satellites provide critical data about what's happening on our planet today, real-life observations scientists use to hone their predictions. And NASA gets a global view of three major pieces of the climate puzzle: how much of the sun's energy is hitting the Earth, how much of that energy is reflected back out into space, and how much is being trapped, heating the planet. NASA satellites measure the sun's energy, which fluctuates due to a 10 to 12-year cycle. Could increased solar activity be causing global warming? Satellite evidence shows us that the solar cycle has only a slight impact on our planet's temperatures. In fact, even though the last few years have been some of the warmest on record, the sun has been in a deep lull in activity. That means slightly less solar energy has been reaching Earth. And when the solar cycle ramps up again, scientists expect temperatures will rise even a little more. A second piece of the temperature puzzle is our planet's brightness. All other things being equal, a brighter, more reflective planet bounces more energy back to space. Some of the brightest, most reflective areas of our planet are those covered with ice. NASA imagery shows those areas shrinking, especially in the Arctic. As sea ice vanishes into darker ocean, our planet becomes less reflective and warms even further. Clouds also reflect a lot of sunlight. As our planet warms, more water evaporates, potentially creating more clouds. More cloud cover increases the Earth's brightness, possibly helping to cool the planet. But clouds, and the small particles called aerosols that help them form, are climate wildcards. Many current climate models predict some cooling due to increased cloud cover. Will it be enough to significantly slow warming? Scientists are using NASA data to look for the answer. Further complicating the issue is that water vapor is actually the world's most abundant greenhouse gas. That's right, the same molecules that might cool the planet in cloud form actually warm it when they're in the form of a gas. They help create a blanket around the Earth, catching heat radiating from the planet's surface and trapping it within the atmosphere. As the planet warms, more water evaporates from the ocean, creating more of this heat-trapping greenhouse gas. Humans can't directly control the amount of water vapor in the air, but we can have a much greater impact on other major greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is the second most prevalent greenhouse gas, and it's our biggest contribution to global warming. Fossil fuel burning releases large amounts of carbon dioxide into the air. NASA satellite instruments capture the infrared signature of carbon dioxide in the global atmosphere. They show a rise throughout the decade. NASA also monitors other greenhouse gases, such as methane, nitrous oxide, and CFCs. In recent years, CFCs have decreased. Methane and nitrous oxide are on the rise. Greenhouse gas is most likely the main contributor to current global warming. It's the key piece of the temperature puzzle, and it's unlocked the door to higher and higher temperatures. In 2010, it marks the end of the hottest decade we've recorded so far. What will the next 10 years hold for the Earth's climate? Computer models predict an even warmer planet, with more extreme weather, less ice, and higher seas. The severity of those changes will depend partly on how our planet's complex system responds, and more importantly, on what choices we make.
Climate change is neither new nor unusual. Over the past 3.5 billion years, the planet's climate has been altered by volcanic emissions, changes in solar output, continents moving slowly atop shifting tectonic plates, impacts by large meteors, and other factors. More intense El Niño. The El Niño phenomenon occurs when the surface of the ocean waters in the Pacific becomes abnormally warm. The energy created by this warming is so great that it can create an imbalance in the weather in different parts of the world. In Southeast Asia, it can lead to abnormally dry conditions. Sea surface temperatures to rise. In the Philippines, 4 and 5 degrees Celsius spikes above the normal sea surface temperature have been recorded. Warmer seas kill coral reefs and can thus lead to a decline in fish catch, putting food security in danger. Ocean acidification. The shift in the pH levels of our oceans can lead to widespread coral reef death. Sea levels to rise by 4 to 6 meters. Sea levels rise by 4 to 6 meters can submerge low-lying communities. Tropical cyclones to intensify. The creation of tropical cyclones is already being recorded in areas where the phenomenon had never been observed. On November 8, 2013, Super Typhoon Yolanda, said to be the strongest storm recorded in history, devastated cities in Visayas, specifically Tacloban.
Monsoon rainfall in the Philippines will reach new highs and lows. Some parts of the country will experience an upward trend in rainfall, while other parts will experience an intensification of drought. These two extreme poles of weather will make it more difficult for agriculture and aquaculture sectors, which are highly dependent on weather. Philippine cities are already experiencing unprecedented amounts of rainfall. In Tacloban City, rainfall increased by 257% from 1998 to 2011. More rainfall will lead to more flooding and can trigger landslide in upland communities. The contribution of the Philippines to global warming is only a drop in the bucket of the world's total greenhouse gas emissions. But that drop may get bigger in the future. These said emissions and our use of certain chemicals in our daily life threaten the ozone layer and may lead to ozone depletion. The stratosphere is a layer of the atmosphere extending from 11 and 30 miles from the surface of the Earth. The lower part of the stratosphere contains the ozone. The ozone layer absorbs much of the incoming ultraviolet radiation from the sun. This protects land organisms from radiation's damaging mutagenic effects. Ozone is formed by the interaction of ultraviolet light and oxygen, a molecule consisting of 2 oxygen atoms. Ozone is a molecule consisting of 3 oxygen atoms. The ozone layer has begun to break down as a result of the presence in the stratosphere of the chlorofluorocarbon, referred to as CFCs. CFCs were manufactured for the use of refrigeration and styrofoam production. When a molecule of CFC is exposed to ultraviolet light, a chlorine atom breaks away. This chlorine strips away oxygen atom from the ozone, reducing the ozone to a molecule of oxygen. Then the oxygen atom in the resulting chlorine compound is pulled off by an oxygen atom. The chlorine is now free to start the cycle of destruction all over again. One molecule of CFC can destroy 100,000 ozone molecules. Measurements taken by meteorologists show a considerable seasonal depletion of ozone concentrations in the stratosphere above the Antarctica and the Arctic. The depletion of the ozone layer began with the discovery of the first chlorofluorocarbon. CFCs are often used in refrigerators, cleaners for electronic parts, and fumigants for granaries. This depletion also resulted to climate change, air pollution, and worse, it affects the human health.
Is it hotter now in the Philippines compared to the past few years?
Sobrang init.
Ayun.
Gusto ko na lang maligo sa akin. Gusto ko mag-stay sa ref. Gusto ko tumira sa ref. yung init dati, mainit lang. Pero ngayon, yung init, kapag na lumabas ka ng tirik ang araw, pwede kang magkasakit. Pero dati naman, pwede ka pong maglaro sa init, hindi ka pa magkakaroon ng sunburn.
Tsaka dati, yung electric fan, medyo naiibsan na yung init ngayon. Kahit 4 na electric fan na nakatutok sa'yo, sobrang init.
Sobra, dahil siguro sa climate change. Ewan ko, nung dati kasi parang ano, I mean, hindi siya ganun kainit. Tapos ngayon, parang mas na-feel mo na, lalo na pag Sunday. And that's scary.
Siguro ngayon sobrang init kasi kahit ganito nakaupo lang kami, pinapawisan pa rin kami. Nag-feel namin sobrang init kahit wala kaming kinain.
As in, dati kayang pa maglakad sa UST na wala kang payong. Tapos naka-jacket ka pa, tapos ngayon sobrang init na you have to be ready lagi.
Mas mainit kasi mas mainit mas talaga.
Based sa yearly report ng Pag-asa, ang average temperature kada taon tumataas. So, siguro masasabi kong oo, mas mainit ngayon kumpara before. Bale every year tumataas or umiinit yung bansa.
Noon kasi medyo fresh pa yung air kasi less yung pollution, kasi less yung mga kotse, ganun. Less yung mga na-invent ng mga technology. So, masasabi ko na mas uminit na yun kasi epekto na rin ng pagiging advanced sa technology.
Do you use air conditioners at home?
Hindi po.
Kami, mapapabili ng aircon sa init sa next week.
Yes, kami.
Okay ba? Pag tanghali kasi yun yung di ba at the peak na ng init. So, doon lang kami para mag-save rin ng electricity.
Yun lang, same thing. Sa pagtanghali lang kasi sobrang init talaga. If sobrang init na talaga na hindi na kaya.
Yeah.
Pag
init.
Yes.
Sa panahon ngayon, lalo na summer, gumagamit ako. Almost kalahating araw siguro.
Do you know the effect of air conditioners to our ozone layer?
Feeling cold sa electricity. Masyadong malaki yung ginagastos sa electricity ng aircon.
Tsaka, pag naka-aircon ata, yung iba, pag parating naka-aircon, tas hindi sila langhap ng hangin talaga. Nakakasal ata sa
Yun ba yun dahil may CFC siya na nilalaman? Kaya feel ko na nadideplete yung ozone layer. Kaya minsan di namin noon, sa gabi lang, para ma-less stress ko yun.
Oo. I think so.
Wala po akong alam.
Ang alam ko lang kasi diba, yung sa aircon, gumagamit yung sa energy, tapos parang nilalabas na form of energy, tapos parang toxic siya sa ozone layer kasi merong mga substances na chemicals gano'n, tapos nakakasama siya sa ozone layer.
Air conditioners contain chlorofluorocarbons. CFCs have been found to cause the depletion of the ozone. Presently, large quantities of these are being used as refrigerants in air conditioning systems. There are a lot of leakages that escape to the atmosphere and cause the destruction of the ozone layer. To prevent the depletion of the ozone layer due to CFC refrigerants, an international agreement called Montreal Protocol was signed by various countries in 1987. As per the agreement, the use of the most dangerous group of CFCs comprising of R11, R12, R113, R114, R115, R500, and R502 were scheduled to be phased out of production totally by January 1, 1996 in developed countries and by the year 2000 in developing countries.
Sadly, many students don't know the effects of CFCs in the atmosphere. All they know is air conditioning units help them with the increasing temperature. But little did they know that the increasing temperature is caused mainly by the CFCs.
In our college alone, many students are complaining about the temperature inside the classrooms due to the continuous use of air conditioning units. Reducing the use of air conditioners is like hitting 3 birds with one stone. We will not only feel more comfortable, but also save electricity. And most of all, it will reduce the CFCs in the atmosphere, which can help save the
Do
earth.
you experience discomfort due to the low temperatures inside the classroom? Sa section namin, bipolar. Dito malamig minsan hindi.
Sa room namin ngayon, hindi po malamig. Pero dati, no, parang may time lang po na malamig siya tapos i-empty lang.
Madalas.
Would you agree if AMP decides to remove some of the air conditioners?
Summer hindi.
Hindi naman siguro bawasan yung aircon, pero bawasan yung paggamit. Kasi may mga rooms na dalawa yung aircon, and hindi naman kailangan i-open yung dalawa. Makikita mo yung minsan yung iba, sobrang pinipinoon na nagkakaroon, kahit naka-jacket, hindi sila. So para sa akin, mas kailangan siguro bawasan yung paggamit, hindi bawasan yung aircon. Kasi may mga rooms din na connected na kailangan na mas marami.
Para sa akin hindi kasi kahit naman, kasi meron naman ng mga na-invento ng mga type na aircon na mas less yung nagiging effect niya. So para sa akin, imbis na bawasan, siguro dapat palitan na lang yung mga type na aircon na less yung nagiging effect sa akin.
Filipinos may learn some measures that we can undertake from the more advanced countries as to just how to remove the pollution that is already there. This will take time, but we have to start now.
Solutions to lessen the effects of these major problems may start from us students.
Maximize the use of water by finding ways to recycle used or excess water.
Reduce the use of air conditioners because it is one of the greatest contributors of CFCs.
We can just walk instead of driving a car that emits gases which are harmful to our environment.
Recycling used papers helps reduce the consumption of trees, which reduce the carbon dioxide in the air.
Choose to commute or carpool instead of traveling alone in private vehicles to reduce traffic and air pollution.
But we know that the answer to the problem is to prevent the pollution from even starting.
Audio Jungle.